Today, I'm going to unbox Command & Colors Samurai Battles from Richard Borg and published by GMT Games. This was published in 2020 and is part of the growing Command & Colors system. One of the reasons why I picked this up was the CDG Solo System, which allows you to have a solitaire system for Command & Colors, or more specifically, Command & Colors Samurai Battles. And so really wanted to try that out on this game and see how that might translate to the other Command & Colors system. I think one of the first Command & Colors games was Battle Cry. This is the 150th Civil War Anniversary Edition, so it's a little bit more deluxe and has minis or little army guys in it. And this was, I think, one of the first in the series, but this has series, as I said, has grown to several different titles, and I don't have them all. I have Battle Cry, I have Command & Colors Ancients, which is, I think the Samurai Battles is going to be somewhat similar to this in that this uses blocks. It's not your typical block game where one side doesn't have a sticker on it, and so you have a fog of war. You have the image on both sides, which is kind of a downside to Command & Colors, or at least these block versions, because there's a lot of stickering, and I'm not a fan of stickering. I don't know who is, but there's a lot of stickering. So you have Command & Color Ancients, which took Battle Cry into the Ancient era and used blocks for it. And there's several expansions to this. I only have one, and that is Command & Color Ancients Expansion 1, which brings in Greece versus the Eastern Empire. I kind of like the Roman and the Greek set up there, and then there's several other expansions in the Ancients lineup. But Command & Colors didn't stop there. It also went into fantasy with Battle Lore, and this kind of went back to the Battle Cry version with the little minis in it, and these are fantasy minis. And basically this Battle Lore tried to take medieval battles, real medieval battles, but then they, inserted fantasy characters, dwarves and goblins, and, in expansions even led to dragons and some other mythical creatures as well. And so, and then Battle Lore actually got an upgrade and went, tried to streamline its play a little bit, and went, especially like the magic piece of it. And then there's like a Battle Lore second edition. This is all the first edition, and this is jam-packed full of, I can't even get this open, jam-packed full of minis. I mean, this is just to the brim. I don't have all the expansions, but have several of them for this, and I never got into the second edition of that. That is my Command & Colors, the extent of my Command & Colors collection. As I said, there was several expansions to Ancients, then there was Napoleonic. There's several expansions to that, and a lot of people think that's maybe one of the best of the Command & Colors system. They actually went into space, and actually went into medieval. I think there's a medieval version of it as well. This one is Samurai Battles, and again, other than the CDG Solo System that I wanted to try out on this, I have some Samurai Battle type battle games or tactical games, but I really wanted to try this one out. Plus, it has 40 battle scenarios, so I'm a sucker for quantity. I like quality, but I also like quantity, and having 40 different scenarios really appealed to me. So let's get the back of the box here. As you can see, it's a block. You're going to have to sticker all these blocks. They're the die. That's a unique dice that have a unique mechanism where you're trying to roll the symbol of your opponent, and you get a hit for every one of those symbols. Leaders might modify this. There might be retreats. There's all kinds of different things there. But the real core of the system is the command cards, where you have a center, left, and right flank, and the cards allow you to move units based on what you draw or what you play in those different zones. This game has these, I don't know if they're like dragon cards or something like that, that harken back to battle lore. You know, battle lore had magic. Well, these dragon cards, they're not magic, but they have, you know, special abilities or special things that you can play on the board. After you collect some of these like honor tokens, you can play these cards to do some you know, overpowered type things or special things, which is kind of similar to the magic in battle lore. So, you know, this is kind of drawing upon ancients and also drawing upon, you know, a little bit of battle lore there. And so now we're getting samurai battle. So let's get into the box here. This is a 2-player game. I know that, you know, there's some epic boards for ancients, and I left out Memoir 44, which is World War II Command and Colors, which, you know, has the minis, has the little army guys in it, and I don't have that. I never got into that, but that has like an epic board, so you can, I think there's a way you can actually play, you know, up to 4 people or maybe more in some of those, with some of those epic settings. So good, thick, sturdy, I think that might be the 3-inch box from GMT. Thick box, you need it because these blocks are heavy. Here's all the blocks you're going to need to sticker. You know, there's the smaller ones for the units. You know, you've got basically red, blue, and then some black in there, which might be more markers. Not sure about that. Then you've got some mid-sized cubes in there. Then you've got some of these large rectangle cubes. And then you've got some smaller rectangle cubes, and again, some black in there as well. So there's all your cubes. Generally, they give you enough. In fact, there's usually a few extra in case you make a mistake. And there should be extra stickers in case you make a mistake as well. Here's the unique dice. So that you're going to try to roll the symbol or the color symbol of your opponent. But then you've got some retreat symbols and some other things going on there. So that's kind of the core of the system. Well, one of the unique aspects and cores of the system is the combat dice. And then the cards are, of course, really drive all the orders and drive all the action forward. Then these are those special dragon cards. We'll take a look at those in a second. You've got your rule book here. This isn't an overly complicated game. You might not think that when you look at a 32-page rule book that has some charts and stuff on it in the back and references. And of course, it talks about all the dragon cards and command cards. Talks about the terrain. So really about 24 pages of rules if you're looking at some of these things as more of a reference. But even at 24 pages, it's dual column with some imagery in the middle of it there, some examples of play. This isn't that complicated of a game. Here's your scenario book. Now this is what I'm really looking forward to because this has a lot of scenarios. Of course, you have a trainer effects on the back. I always like using that extra space so you can have an extra chart to look at next to the board. But it has 40 scenarios there that are dealing with the the samurai period. And so, I mean, you got to love that. And so most of this book, this book is only 44 pages counting the back, and 40 of them are single page scenarios that give you historical background, give you all the setup, give any notes, how you win victory, and any special rules. So there's a lot here. This is awesome. This is something I've been looking forward to here. So there's all 40 of the scenarios there. So a lot of history there too. Here's your stickers. There's several pages of those. And this is the part that I like the least about this game, or at least using the block. I like the blocks. I like the aesthetic feel of the blocks, but do not like stickering. And you've got at least four pages and a little page of stickers that you need to put on at some point. You're going to have some player aids in here. Let's get those out. So you have your reference card. So you have a reference card for each side, I believe, so they can 2-player game, so they can each have their own reference card to see what's going on there. Plus, there's some references on the back of the rules and on the scenario book. Here is your cardboard punch out. I think these are your honor, and then these are like some leadership things. Not sure what those are. Those might be like how you win, track wins. Here's your terrain, because the board is mounted. It's a nice mounted board, but it's pretty blank. It's really meant to be just set up, this terrain on there, and it's two-sided, so you do rivers, you can do some croplands, maybe a little village there, and they come out relatively easy there. Then you get some hills, and looks like you've got some camps there, and all kinds of little stuff there, so that's kind of cool. Then you have the board, which comes in a bag. I mean, there's not much to talk about with the board because, as I said, it's pretty much one color, and it's meant to be kind of clear, and then you just put your you're going to put your terrain on it there. So you just see some of the board there. There's no terrain on the board, but it is a nice mounted board, which has like wrapped edges on there as well. So let's get into the cards here and see what's in some of these cards here. The command cards, again, is the really core of the system. Between the cards and the dice, that's what makes up Command and Colors. Other games have picked up on some of those aspects, but Command and Colors might be one of the first ones to really combine both. So you're going to have all these command cards, and this is going to be a shared deck, and you'll draw from this and have a hand, and this is going to tell you what you can do, like order 1 unit left. So you can move 1 unit from your left flank, and a unit is your set of units, right? So usually there might be like 4 of a unit, 4 of a specific combat in 1 unit, and so that's how you determine losses too. When you take losses, you'll take some of those off, and then when all of them are taken off out of a unit, then you're going to it's going to be a loss. Here, order 2 units center. Here's 3 units right. So I mean, and you're going to have a hand, and you're going to be able to use. And some of these, that tells you how you want to do your strategy. Order units with the green symbol, the green circle. So order units with the triangle, blue triangle. So as I said, it depends on what you have in your hand and how you want to maneuver on the board, and how you kind of save up some of your orders from turn to turn to try to come up with a more combined attack. But this is really the core of the game. This is representing, giving orders to your troops, from the general, and so, you can't always do what you necessarily want to do, but you generally can usually do something, and it really depends on where you're, what you have on the board and where they're at. Then there's some cards that are just special things, like this is play this card after an opponent declares a close combat, and it gives you some special abilities. Here's an infinity onslaught. So there's some special cards in there as well that you can use to play in combination with an attack, or when an opponent declares an attack, or or command or something like that, and then you can have some special stuff going on there. Here's dragon cards. These are those cards that you have to purchase with honor points. I think it's honor points. Here's the cost up here. So the higher the cost, the more valuable that card's going to be, and it's going to be kind of give you something very special to do that could change the course of the game. Of course, their opponent's going to have access to buying these cards as well. But these are just all special cards. And as I said, this one feels somewhat reminiscent or similar to some of the magic or spell cards that were in the battle lore. So we're seeing a kind of a culmination of some of the learnings and changes of the system over time. So that is what you get in a box of Command and Colors Samurai Battles. If you've played any of the other Command and Colors, especially Command and Color Ancients or Command and Color Napoleonic, this is going to look familiar with the cards and the terrain and the cubes that you get and that you have to sticker. That's something that's similar to all those different games. They don't have the minis like in Battle Cry or Memoir 44 or Battle Lore. But there's all the stickers. I'm not looking forward to that, but you got to do it in order to play the game. So there you have it. That is what comes in a box of Samurai Battles. And again, picked this up mainly because I'm interested in the topic and I wanted to look at a lot of those different battles, but also, use this CDG Solo System that just came out with it. And wonder if it's easily transferable to some of the other Command and Color games I have. Seeing if I can do that, and maybe they're going to come out with additional CDG Solo Systems as well. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Love to know your thoughts on this game, on any of the Command and Color systems. I'd like to see a dialogue started up on this. But really, what do you think of this game? You like it? Do you like this system? Not like this system? Do you think that the system easily translates, or is represented well? Represents this era well with by using the Command and Color system. Love to hear any of your thoughts on that. That's what I have for you today. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate any time you spend with me. I know your time is precious, so any amount of time you spend is greatly appreciated. Thanks all. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.